years old. And when I started to go around that group, I did whatever to get however many drugs as I could get. And when somebody, like the first time I did drugs, and I've got to tell you this because I just don't know if people understand that for some folks, drugs is a solution to their problem. So I was given a couple of Quaaludes once, and Quaaludes is a pretty heavy-duty sedative. And I was given the Quaaludes, and I remember taking them, and I remember not wanting to die for the first time in my life. And I thought, you know what, this is so amazing. I took about 3 more, and I was tiny. I was not a big kid, and I took 5 Quaaludes. And I remember somebody saying something, and I'm thinking, you know what, I don't even understand what you're saying, and I like it that way. You know what I mean? I just couldn't believe that this was going to be so easy. I stayed high for the next 10 years, and I'm serious. I don't remember a day not being high from that point on. I ended up getting pregnant within the next year. How old was I? 12. So that the next year I was 12 years old. I ended up getting pregnant. My mom decided that I should get married.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, you know, I guess because her mom decided that for her, you know what I mean? And so, and I would love to say this next thing, that I knew who the Father was. I would love to say that. Because for some people, they want me to say that. You know what I mean? But I can't. I had no idea. I took so many drugs so much of the time that I didn't know and could care less. If you could get me high, that's all I cared about. And being that I was so young, a lot of perpetrators were drawn to me. And so the person that decided that they were going to take responsibility for the pregnancy was a guy that was 21 years old and in the service. He was in the Navy. And so we were going to go to Mexico and get married and all that kind of stuff. And I ended up, right before we went to Mexico, I ended up going into labor. I was 8.5 months pregnant. I weighed 104 pounds. And I just imagine, 104 pounds, 8.5 months. You could not tell I was pregnant. I mean, a little bit, but not much. And I went in and had twins. I had a boy and a girl. If you look at the palm of your hand, they could fit in the palm of your hand. They were less than 9 ounces. And the girl was stillborn and the boy lived for 8 hours. And I remember when the doctor came in, you know, I was smoking a cigarette at that time. In hospitals you could smoke. And he came in and he said, you know what, you have all kinds of problems, don't you? And I'm thinking, how mean is that? You know, what would make you say that? You know, and not thinking I'm a 12-year-old that just delivered, you know, and I'm smoking a cigarette, you know. And what he said is the reason these babies died is because of all the substances you were taking. And I couldn't believe he said that. I thought, I can't believe you would say that. That is the meanest thing. And in my mind, I made no connection. And Bruce, I don't know if you find that when you work with people, but I made no connection that what I was putting in my body actually was affecting these babies. And I just thought it was mean. I literally wanted to shoot him. You know what I mean? For saying something that mean. After the boy died, after the 8 hours, I told my mom that I was just going to come home, and she said, no, you need to just go get married. We ended up getting married. He moved me into his mom's house and went overseas for 6 months. And I just want to ask you, do you think his mom liked me? No. And you really have to think about that if you're a parent. I was a 12-year-old drug addict that just ruined her son's life, but I didn't get it. Do you know what I mean? I just kept thinking, here's another adult. And I don't even know why, but I'm getting all this junk from him. She tried to do the right thing. She would invite me to come and sit with them at dinner, but she would shake. She did not want me at the table. She did not want me in her house. She did not want to have to introduce me to her friends. Do you know what I mean? This is my son's wife, you know. And I mean, it was just horrible. But then I thought, you know what, I'm an adult. I don't even have to stay here anymore. I can just be on my own. So I left, ended up on the streets of LA, and was homeless for the next 10 years. And I'm not going to go into everything that happened on the streets, but on the streets at 12, 13 years old, it is harder than what I explained to you so far. Do you know what I mean? I got kidnapped by a group of bikers once, and I remember I was 14 years old, and I just want to tell you a little bit, because I just want to, when we get into how I met God and what God said, I just think it matters that you know this other stuff. And I'm 14 years old. I get picked up by a group of bikers. And I remember when the one sergeant of arms pulled up and he had a Harley Davidson and he said something like, "Do you want to go camping?" And I'm like, how cool is that? I had never been camping. If you raised with druggies, they don't go camping. I think the only vacation my family really had at the time was they went to Las Vegas. You know what I mean? They were just not campers. So he said, "Do you want to go camping?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, okay. Gave me some barbiturates, we smoked some weed. I got on the back of his bike. We went to a place called Lake Elsinore. There was about 300 bikers there. Everybody was partying. And I'm like, this is going to be so much fun. I got off of the bike, started to walk to where the party was, the main group. And he says to me, "Excuse me, but did I tell you you could walk away from me?" And I said, "Did I ask you?" And when I said that, he hit me in the face as hard as he could. I flew back, hit a tree, and slid down. And I remember just being enraged. Like, I don't even know you, and what are you doing hitting me? And I remember just being enraged. And for some reason, every single abuse that ever happened just started coming up. And I was just like, you know what? This is not okay with me. And I jumped up and hit him in the face. I was 14, he was 38. He was sergeant of arms in a group called the Hessians, and I was small for my age. You know what I mean? And so I did no harm to him at all. He hit me again, I hit the tree again, and then everybody started laughing, and they decided to start walking over to see what's happening with us. And then they're laughing at me, and I just, again, just went into a rage. I can't believe that they're laughing at me, and I just wanted to hurt him. And I got up and kicked and hit and scratched, and finally he hit me, and I think that I felt my face crack, and I felt I lost a tooth, and decided then to stay on the ground. And if